He crawled into the cave with cracked lips and failing lungs, chasing a rumor older than maps. It said the pool inside could save a dying man or erase him completely. When his hands touched the water, it wasn't cold. It was watching. He drank anyway. The cave didn't react at first. Then the walls began to hum, low, painful, like a warning meant for something far stronger than him. His heartbeat slowed. His shadow stretched the wrong way, and memories that were not his own began bleeding into his mind. Wars under alien skies, creatures kneeling, a hunger without mercy. Then the whisper slid through his spine, calm, disappointed, ancient. You should not feel this alive. He tried to stand. The cave bowed instead. And that was when he realized whatever he'd been before was already gone. The cave should have killed him long before the water did anything strange. Its mouth yawned open in the side of the ravine like a wound that refused to heal, exhaling air that smelled of iron and age. He collapsed just inside it, fingers digging into wet stone, lungs burning as if each breath scraped something raw inside his chest. The storm outside howled, but the sound faded fast, swallowed by rock. His name was Eli Navarro, a human, a small thing by any galactic measure. And he was dying. The med scans had been clear. Cellular failure, bone marrow collapse, a side effect of long-term exposure to deep space radiation during first contact salvage runs. No cure, no treatment. Earth's doctors had used words like inevitable in weeks, not months. The Coalition's healers had been worse. They hadn't bothered to lie. So when he heard the rumor on a fringe outpost, half a joke, half a warning, he listened. An ancient cave on a dead moon. A pool that predated mapped history. Water that changed what drank it. Not a miracle, the alien bartender had said, voice dropping. A mistake. Eli had smiled then, thin and tired. Mistakes were all he had left. Now, crawling deeper into the cave, that choice felt heavier. The air pressed against him, thick and unmoving. His suit's light cut a narrow tunnel through darkness, revealing walls etched with grooves too smooth to be natural. Not carvings. Where? As if something enormous had brushed past them for centuries. His legs finally gave out. He lay there, cheek against stone, listening to his pulse stutter and misfire. Each beat came slower than the last. His vision tunneled, edges going black. So this is it, he thought. That was when he heard the water. Not dripping, not flowing, waiting. He dragged himself forward, inch by inch, until the tunnel widened into a chamber so vast his light couldn't find the ceiling. At its center lay the pool, perfectly still, perfectly dark. It reflected nothing, not his light, not his face, not even the glitter of mineral veins in the rock. It was as if the space above it had been cut out of reality. Elonhedvikli. Figures. He knelt at the edge, hands shaking. His reflection should have stared back at him. Gaunt, hollow-eyed, a man already halfway gone. Instead, the surface remained empty. A warning, maybe, or an invitation. His hands touched the water. It wasn't cold. It wasn't warm. It wasn't anything his nerves knew how to describe. The sensation slid past skin and straight into his bones, deep and intimate, like a remembered pain. His breath caught. For a long second, he considered pulling back. Then the ache in his chest flared, sharp and final, and fear made the decision for him. He drank. The moment the water hit his tongue, the cave went silent. Not quiet, absent. Sound vanished, so completely it felt violent, like pressure dropping too fast. Eli gagged, clutching his throat as the liquid burned its way down, not hot but heavy, as if swallowing gravity itself. His heart stopped, not slowed, stopped. He fell forward, face inches from the pool, fingers clawing uselessly at stone. Panic surged, but his body refused to obey it. No breath came, no pain followed. Instead, something opened. Images slammed into him with no order and no mercy. Skies torn open by orbital fire. Cities grown, not built. Organic towers screaming as they fell. Beings tall as mountains kneeling in ash before something unseen. Before him, Eli tried to scream. The cave offered no sound. His heart lurched, then started again, Harder, stronger, wrong. Each beat sent a shock wave through his frame. Bones creaked. Muscles tightened, knitting themselves with violent precision. The ache he had lived with for months didn't fade. It vanished. He gasped, dragging in air, so cold it burned, and staggered backward, collapsing against the rock. His suit alarms flared red, then flickered confused. Bio readings spiked beyond safe parameters, then stabilized at numbers that made no sense. He laughed again, this time in disbelief. "I'm alive," he whispered. The word felt insufficient. The cave answered him. Not aloud, not with vibration or echo. The whisper rose from inside his chest, calm and vast, carrying the weight of collapsed eras. "You have no idea what you become." Eli Grotze. His shadow stretched across the chamber wall, long and distorted, moving a half-second too late. Or too early. He stared at it, heart pounding, as the rock beneath his palms warmed. No, not warmed. Responded. He pushed himself to his feet. The cave seemed to lean toward him, walls groaning softly, ancient grooves catching the light as if recognizing something familiar. Fear finally cut through the shock. "What did you do to me?" he asked the darkness. The pool rippled for the first time, and far beneath its surface, something immense shifted, as if a presence long dormant had marked him and let him go. Eli didn't run. The thought crossed his mind, primitive, automatic, but his body ignored it. His legs felt anchored, not by fear, but by a strange certainty, as if flight were no longer an option available to him. The cave was changing, or maybe it was revealing what it had always been. The grooves along the walls began to glow faintly, thin lines of pale light threading through the stone like veins beneath translucent skin. They pulsed in time with his heartbeat. Eli pressed a hand to his chest and felt it, strong, steady, impossibly loud. Every beat echoed back from the rock. "Okay," he muttered. "That's new." His voice sounded wrong in his ears. Deeper, not lower, fuller, as if more space had been carved inside his lungs to hold it. He took a step toward the cave entrance. The ground responded. Stone shifted under his boot, not collapsing, not cracking, adjusting. A shallow ridge rose where his foot was about to land, perfectly placed, like the cave was ensuring he didn't stumble. Eli froze mid-step. Slowly, carefully, he lifted his foot and set it down somewhere else. The ridge followed. His stomach tightened. "Stop!" The ridge sank back into the floor. Silence. Not the dead absence from before, but a waiting quiet, attentive and deliberate. He swallowed. "I didn't ask for this." The whisper returned, not as words this time, but as understanding, cool and absolute. "None of us did." Eli staggered back, spine hitting the wall. The contact sent a jolt through him. Not pain, but awareness. The cave unfolded in his mind all at once. Its chambers, its fractures, the ancient pressure holding it together. He knew where every crack was, where every load-bearing arch rested, where it would break if he wanted it to. He yanked his hand away as if burned. "No," he said louder. "No, this isn't healing. This is something else." He remembered the bartender's eyes. Not a miracle, a mistake. Eli forced himself to breathe, counting each inhale. His thoughts felt sharper, faster, stacking on top of each other without tangling. He could feel his own blood moving, could sense the exact moment oxygen touched it. He closed his eyes. The images came back instantly. Not memories this time, records. A species that had drunk from the pool when the universe was young and violent. Not explorers, not pilgrims, wardens. They had shaped worlds by standing on them, held back things that did not belong in reality anymore. They were not gods, but everything else had called them that out of fear. And one by one, they had vanished. Not killed, not defeated, spent. Eli opened his eyes, breath shaking. So what? This thing just turns people into them. The pool remained still, but the cave answered with a feeling he understood too easily. It does not turn. It completes. His knees nearly gave out. "Complete?" he whispered. "I was dying. You were unfinished." Anger flared, sudden and hot. "You don't get to decide that. I didn't ask to be whatever this is. I just wanted more time." For the first time, the presence hesitated. The hesitation felt like continents shifting. So did they. The light along the walls dimmed. The cave's attention pulled inward, as if listening to something far away. Eli felt it too. A pressure at the edge of perception. A distant tearing. Space folding where it shouldn't. Something old was moving. His skin prickled. What is that? The whisper sharpened, urgency threading through it. The reason we were made. The ground trembled, not from the cave, but from above. Dust drifted from the ceiling as a low-frequency vibration rolled through the rock, deep enough to rattle his teeth. Eli's suit flared again, external sensors lighting up with warnings. Massive energy displacement. Gravitational distortion. A ship. Not coalition. Not human. He knew that instantly, the knowledge slotting into place without explanation. They found this place, he said. They always do. The presence recoiled slightly, not in fear, but in preparation. The cave's glow intensified, flowing toward the pool, toward him. Eli felt heat build in his chest, a pressure like something vast trying to breathe through a human frame. No, he said, backing away. I'm not your weapon. The whisper softened, not gentle but honest. Neither were we. A shadow passed over the cave entrance. Harsh white light cut into the chamber, artificial and invasive. Eli raised an arm on instinct. The light bent. Not reflected. Not blocked. Bent. He stared at his hand as the beam curved around it, warping like glass around a stone. His pulse thundered. Footsteps echoed from the tunnel beyond. Metal on rock, confident, unafraid. Voices followed, alien and sharp, filled with anticipation. Artifact confirmed, one said. Life sign present. Human. A pause. Then laughter. Eli lowered his arms slowly, dread and understanding twisting together in his chest. The whisper returned one last time, heavy with inevitability. You drank from the pool. The footsteps drew closer. Now you will learn what that costs. The first alien stepped into the chamber and immediately fell to its knees. Not from injury, from weight. Its armor, sleek, angular, etched with glowing sigils, screamed as stress fractures raced across the plates. The being inside let out a strangled cry, limbs trembling as if gravity had suddenly remembered it existed. Eli stared, heart hammering. He hadn't moved, hadn't done anything. The others stopped short in the tunnel, weapons rising in alarm. What did the human do? One hissed. I don't know. Another snapped. Readings are spiking. Local mass just changed. Eli took a step back. The kneeling alien collapsed flat against the stone, pinned, breath wheezing through its rebreather. The pressure vanished the moment Eli stopped moving. Oh God, Eli whispered. I didn't mean to. Intent is irrelevant, the whisper said calmly. Effect is not. Panic surged. Then turn it off. We never could. A weapon discharged. A bolt of concentrated plasma screamed across the chamber toward his chest. Ili gulinshit. The bolt slowed. Not dramatically. Not in a flash of power. It simply lost interest in going faster. The energy unraveled midair, heat bleeding away as the bolt stretched into harmless light and faded out inches from his body. The air smelled of ozone and failure. Silence slammed down hard. The aliens stared. One of them whispered, voice trembling, "That's impossible." Eli's hands were shaking. He clenched them into fists, nails biting into skin that felt tougher than it should have been. I didn't ask for this, he said again, more desperately. Please, just leave. The leader stepped forward, a tall figure with a crown of sensor spines and eyes like polished obsidian. Fear was there, buried deep beneath discipline and greed. Human, it said slowly, you are standing on a relic that predates your species by millions of cycles. Eli shook his head. It's not a relic. It's a grave, the whisper finished. And a warning. The leader stiffened. You hear it, it said, all creeping into its tone. The warden echo. Eli Svalovith. I hear something. It says I'm unfinished and that you shouldn't be here. The alien's gaze sharpened. Then it has accepted you. Accepted. The word hit harder than any weapon. No, Eli said. I drank because I was dying. The leader tilted its head. So were they. A memory surfaced without permission. Countless figures kneeling at this same pool, each one carrying desperation, hope, fear. Each one human-shaped only by coincidence. They saved reality. The alien continued. At the cost of themselves. Held back what even stars could not burn. Eli felt the pressure in his chest swell, the cave responding to his rising pulse. The walls groaned softly, sympathetic. And when they were gone, Eli asked. The alien smiled, thin and reverent. The universe began to break. The words hung there, heavy. Eli looked down at his hands again. He could feel the stress lines in the rock beneath his feet, the precise forces holding the chamber together. With a thought, just a thought, he could collapse it, could bury them all. The realization terrified him. I'm not a guardian, he said. I'm a salvage tech who got sick doing dangerous jobs, so people richer than me wouldn't have to. So were we, the whisper replied. In our own way. A sharp, distant sensation rippled through him. Pain, but not his own. A tearing, far beyond the cave, far beyond the moon. The leader stiffened. It's begun, it said quietly. What has? Eli demanded. The alien didn't answer. It didn't have to. Space screamed. Not audibly, but through Eli's senses, through the new awareness wired into him. A fracture was forming in the fabric of reality itself. A pressure point where too much mass, too much energy, too much wrongness had accumulated. A breach. Eli staggered, grabbing the wall as vertigo slammed into him. Images poured in, stars bending inward, matter unraveling into nothing, civilizations erased without heat or light. He cried out, "Make it stop." "We cannot," the whisper said, "but you can stand in the way." The cave brightened, responding to his distress. The pool churned now, black surface rippling as if something beneath it stirred again. No, Eli whispered, horror dovning. That's what happened to you. You stood in the way until there was nothing left of you. Yes, the simplicity of the answer broke something inside him. The leader stepped back, fear finally breaking through. Human, it said, voice strained. You must come with us. Studied, contained. If you lose control, if I lose control, Eli said hoarsely, this place won't survive it. He felt it then, the truth the whisper hadn't said out loud. The pool didn't create wardens. It found those already willing to die for time. His heartbeat slowed, deep and steady. The panic eased, replaced by a cold clarity that scared him even more. He looked at the aliens, at their weapons, at their fear. I won't go with you, he said. The leader raised a trembling hand. Then you doom us all. Eli closed his eyes. I think, he said quietly, that was already happening. The cave began to shake, not in warning, but in readiness. And far away, the breach widened. The breach was no longer distant. Eli felt it like a pulled muscle in the universe, space thinning, laws loosening, reality forgetting how to hold its shape. The sensation grew sharper with every heartbeat, each pulse of his heart echoing into something far larger than his body. The cave answered. The pool surged upward in a slow, deliberate column, water rising without splashing, without spilling a single drop. It hovered before him, dark and absolute, a vertical mirror that showed him something at last. Not his face, his end. He saw himself standing where the breach would open, flesh burned away by forces no biology could withstand, bones glowing as they were rewritten again and again until even pain forgot him. He saw time bending around his presence, slowing, stretching, buying seconds, minutes, years. He saw the moment when there would be nothing left to rewrite. Eli opened his eyes, breathing hard. That's the cost, he said. Yes. No ceremony. No apology. The alien leader backed toward the tunnel, voice shaking. Human, warden, whatever you are, there may be another way. Machines. Sacrifices. We can already tried those, Eli said softly. Knowledge surfaced as naturally as breath. That's why you came here. You were hoping this place still worked. The alien froze. Eli met its gaze. It does. Just not the way you wanted. The cave began to hum again, deeper this time, a resonance that set Eli's teeth vibrating. The stone beneath his feet softened, reshaping into a platform that sloped gently toward the pool. A path. No, he whispered, fear finally breaking through the calm. I don't want to disappear. I just got more time. The whisper didn't argue. It showed him something else. A future where he walked away. The breach expanded unchecked. Entire systems folded in on themselves, gravity turning inside out. Billions died without knowing why, without ever seeing the threat that erased them. History ended not with fire, but with absence. Eli's hands curled into fists. I never asked to be important, he said. Neither did the universe, the whisper replied. It only asks that someone stand where it breaks. The path reached the pool's edge. The water parted, revealing a void beneath. No bottom, no reflection, just depth that hurt to look at. Power radiated from it now, not aggressive, not tempting, patient. The alien leader dropped to one knee. If you do this, it said hoarsely, your species will never know what you saved. Eli smiled softly. That sounds familiar. He took a step forward. The cave shuddered, not in protest, but in acknowledgement. Ancient structures locked into place, channels opening deep within the rock, drawing energy toward him. He felt the warden echo coil tighter around his awareness, not consuming him, but aligning with him. For the first time, it spoke with something like respect. You understand now. Yeah, Eli said. Edo. He paused at the edge, one last doubt clawing at him. When it's done, will there be anything left of me? The answer came slowly. Not as you are. Eli ikselit. That's okay. He stepped into the void. The universe screamed. The breach tore fully open, an impossible wound of folded space and inverted light, but it never had time to grow. Eli was there, standing at its center, every atom of his body burning as it was rewritten to hold the line. Time slowed around him. He felt planets continue their orbits. Stars burn on. Lives moved forward, unaware of how close they had come to ending. The pain was immense, but finite. The power was endless, but focused. Eli became the boundary. From the cave, the aliens watched in silence as the breach collapsed inward, crushed by a presence that refused to yield. Space stitched itself shut, laws snapping back into place with a thunderless finality. Then the light vanished. The cave went dark. The pool fell still once more. Where Eli had stood, there was nothing. No body, no echo, no sign that a human had ever been there at all. The warden echo faded, its purpose fulfilled again. Far across the galaxy, sensors registered a sudden stabilization of cosmic constants. Scientists celebrated anomalies resolving themselves. Religions revised ancient prophecies they didn't know had almost come true. On a forgotten moon, in a cave older than fear, the stone relaxed. And deep within the fabric of reality, something vast and patient held, because a dying human had taken one more step than anyone else. One sentence summary: a dying human drank from an ancient cave pool, became an unfinished warden, and sacrificed his existence to stand against the cosmic breach so the universe and humanity could continue.